Good afternoon or morning, depending on what part of the country you're in. This is Mastermind call number 26. Chad, is that correct?
Yes.
26 calls. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. And today is May 28th, 2015. I was just, before we turned the recording on, guys, we were just talking. We've had tremendous growth in the last month. You know, we're doubling our subscribers every couple weeks. And a lot of you have been on this call before. In the last 45 minutes, I've had at least 5 people call wanting to know the time and the phone number for the training webinar or the training call. And I didn't want you guys to be disappointed. This call is the same time every week, same phone number, same access code. This is a mastermind call. This is where all our agents, old, new, and in between, can kind of get together, brainstorm, exchange ideas, ask questions, share success stories, etc. And a number of you asked me about the coaching and the training. So, Chad, would you explain to them where it amazes me when you guys sign up? Well, it doesn't amaze me because I'm a realtor. I do the same thing. I scan. I don't read every word. But when you sign up, you get a welcome page, and on that welcome page, it pretty much lists where all of our resources are located. But, Chad, would you just summarize where they should be looking for both the web page, what's there, and what's on the Facebook group and how to sign up for that? And then I've had quite a few calls about your additional coaching that you offer. So I think that'd be a good place to start.
All right. So for anybody who has just signed up, in your welcome email, there was a link to a series of videos called Fast Track Videos. That's one way to get to those. The other way to get to those is to go to the Facebook page, and it's a pinned post, so it's always at the top. That is, I think, probably 25 or 30 minutes worth of videos that will show you how to get your leads, when to expect your leads, what to do first, how to get started, how to get your campaign outline, and it explains each of the resources. The point of that is to just show you guys, we give you everything you need to be successful. So just this week, if you look in the Facebook group, I've updated the campaign outlines. I've given you the most recent version of the letters that we're using in my office. And I've posted a lot of other commentary in there about scrubbing lists and different things. So the Facebook page is a great resource. All the files that are hosted on that page are what are being used in my business currently and a lot of other people's. So if you're a strong self-starter or you feel like you've got time, to really do this, I mean, one of our clients has listened to literally every call we've ever done. She consumed it all in 3 days. And, most people don't have the time to do that. So as an extra level, what we've done kind of out of necessity once we got started, we created a coaching program, and in the past we've called that a Probate Jumpstart. We're just getting ready to switch over to our new technology and our new education platform. That's now called the Probate Master Course. And that is, right now, it's 3 hours of one-on-one time with me. So we break it into 3 sessions. Session 1 is on strategy, Session 2 is on systems, and Session 3 is on sales. And that's all about getting this implemented into your business as fast and painless as possible. So, we will kind of pull apart your current model and build this back in so it's not, it doesn't interrupt what's already made it successful. The challenge that I have there is so many people, there's only so many hours in the day. So what I'm working on is building this into kind of what you would see on a continuing education site. So we're going to build it where we have, the intent is anyone who takes the Probate Mastery course will get a certification, and eventually we hope to have that as a CE certification. So you could spend 3 hours doing this and actually get continuing education credit. Now we're probably a quarter or so away from that because it just takes time. But that's the direction we're headed. You'll be able to, buy a digital training program that consists of modules that not only train yourself, but your team or your assistant or whoever. For right now, if you're interested in coaching, you can email me at chat@alltheleads.com. The cost of the Probate Mastery, the one-on-one training, is $500 right now. And some people want to do it over 3 weeks because I do give you a lot of action items that you need to get in place. So some space it out so they have a week to accomplish, what they need to. Some people who are really drivers and more advanced and have big teams, they can do this in as little as 3 days if they can absorb the information quicker and they have more staff to help. So that's kind of what we offer and where we're headed. We will have, additional coaching offerings as we kind of see the need. One thing I'd like to do is, and maybe with an open line, it's probably not the smartest thing. I would like to know, and maybe you guys can post on the Facebook page. I'll post and you guys reply. I would like to know if there's an appetite for more of a group coaching atmosphere where just what Jim was talking about. If we put together a coaching call and it's not as customized as the mastery course might be, but it's more of a generic learning environment where 50 of us can get in and talk about the thing. So I'll post a post on Facebook just to see what the interest level is. If it seems like we've got a lot of people that are interested, then we'll definitely set up a call and kind of do it in a group coaching atmosphere where it'll be obviously a lower cost, just not quite as customized to your business.
And just to expand on that, guys, we really don't want you to think that we're constantly upselling you. I would say 90% of our clients take all the data, they take everything we offer for free, and they run with it, and they're good. If you're in a market, we have a lady, one of the most outstanding examples, I think, is Sandra Marconi. She's never on the call anymore, but she's in a suburb of Houston, Texas. How many leads are we giving her a month, Chad? Do you know?
1,500.
No, 1,500 leads a month?
Yes.
I thought it was 600. My gosh. So when we gave her the lead, she was absolutely overwhelmed. Chad pretty much automated the system. She got, I don't know how many coaching calls you did with her and her staff, but you got it to the point where it's automated, it's pretty seamless, and now she's doing this in addition to the rest of her business and, not pulling her hair out trying to make it happen. But if you're in a typical market and you're getting 30, 40, 50 leads a month, we'll help you all we can. If you, like Chad said, if you want to accelerate the learning curve, he is there for you. I've been around coaching my whole life, and Chad is as good as anybody I've ever seen at systems. He's not only good at the coaching, but he's half my age. He's a lot better at technology than I am. I keep trying to find the person making that noise, guys. Bear with me. I'm trying to beep him out, but okay. As soon as I said that, it went away. Any questions, guys, on what we've talked about so far?
Yeah.
Okay, that was easy. Anybody have any wins they want to share this week? I think we have about 50 people on the call right now, so this is a great turnout to get 50 realtors to show up for anything. Has anybody had any big wins this week that they want to report?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Chad.
So a lot of people ask, what can you expect off of this? And what we find over time is we get about 6 closings per 100 leads. Now, it takes a bit of time to get to that point, but so we had last week, my new listing agent, we sent out a round of letters, and we get a phone call and thought it was from the new letters. As it turns out, it was actually from a letter that was sent in October. We got a call from a lady who was responding to the cash offer as part of our option letter. We sent the probate options letter, and she wanted to see what that looked like. So we, as always, we set the appointment quickly, got it on the calendar, learned about the situation, the house, and really felt like the best thing for her was not a cash offer. We made the cash offer and reminded her that could stay in the top desk drawer. But then we suggested that, the cash offer was $117, and I suggested that we listed at $175 and go out into the marketplace and find a buyer. And she agreed that was the best thing. After telling us that she would not list the property, was not interested in working with a realtor, part of the game, one of the games I play is always have the seller pull the listing agreement out of the folder without asking. They literally ask me to list the property. And it happened perfectly seamlessly. It happened just like it's supposed to. We listed the house on Thursday over a holiday weekend. We generated multiple offers and just sold it for full list price in, I think, 2 business days. So we did exactly what we told her we would do. So she went from like cold and kind of distrustful to, okay, I really want you to list my house, to, holy crap, what do you mean you've already sold it? And it was, it was like a 3 business day cycle, the entire thing. And that was an above median price home in a great neighborhood. It just had a ton of, it was just really dated. It was a great home. It just hadn't been touched since the 50s. So that was with a listing agent who's brand new. It was the first probate he'd ever done, and he just followed my system. The same thing that I make available to you guys, he has. And he was trained the same way that any of our coaching clients would be trained. And so off of 200 letters, we'll get 4 listings off of last week's mailing. Or I guess the mail was 2 weeks ago. Last week was when we got the listing. So that's just a success story that kind of shows that, over the long haul, you're going to get residual business off of old letters that you sent months back. And they're going to respond to different hooks. Sometimes it'll be the cash offer. Sometimes it'll be the, selling for top market value or getting the house cleaned out. So make sure you've got your team built around you and you can offer all those options with confidence. And when that call comes in, whether they tell you they don't want a realtor or not, 9 times out of 10 they need a realtor. So.
Excellent.
I'm sorry. Can I ask a question?
Please.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Chad, do I understand you correctly to say that if we follow, your plan here, we should get 6 closings per 100 leads? Is that what you're saying?
That's what we see, and all the people that I talk to, that seems to be pretty consistent. Now, there's some outliers like Tammy and Boise. She sent 175 letters and listed 7 houses. What I find here is we list about 2 houses per round of marketing. So if we do a 90-day campaign to a list of 100 people, we'll list 2 on the first letter, 2 on the second letter, 2 on the third letter. And it's not a perfect science, obviously, because it's marketing. But on average, that's about what you'll get. And we see that in metro markets, we see it in rural markets. There doesn't seem to be any pattern other than people who are actually working the system seem to be able to get at least about 6 per 100 over a 90-day period.
Okay.
Excellent. Guys, we have 15 minutes today, and we got a tremendous turnout. What can we help you with? What questions?
I'd like to ask a question.
Please.
This is Brian from Albany. When you get calls saying, they don't have any property or in the estate, do you recommend taking them off the call list and the mail list? So for the coming months, how do you guys recommend managing the list when you get the I'm not interested, I have no property? Because you don't want to keep bombarding them with phone calls and mailings, but at the same time, the whole idea of the system is to automate it. And now if you have to go in and pick every one of these out every time you get a call, it can become a bit of a headache.
Well, if you're using a CRM, regardless of what the conversation is, once you speak to somebody once, they should come off your automated calling list. Because if you list the house, you don't want to send them a phone call either. You don't want one of your clients to get a call from you saying, "Hey, this is Brian. I can da 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 da." Because they're gonna be like, "Brian, what the heck are you doing? You've already listed my house." Ask me how I learned that. I did. So what I would recommend is every time you have a phone call, you should be managing your CRM or your database. You should be going in and re-rating that person as engaged or future or long-term opportunity, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't take them out of the database because, so I posted in Facebook earlier, right before we got on the call. A lot of people are struggling with, should I scrub my list? Oh, my God, it's overwhelming. Like, this is hard. I don't know how to scrub my list. And I'll say it here, too. 90% of you should not even consider scrubbing your list for 2 reasons. One reason, you're going to scrub out a ton of referral opportunities. If you're in a transient market like a vacation market or a major metro area, you're going to miss chances to refer business into other markets. The other reason is statistically 66% of people own real estate when they die. Also, another statistic, 100% of people at some point in their life know somebody who dies. So if you've got somebody that has just lost somebody and they get a letter from you and they call you and say, well, Brian, I don't have real estate. Okay, well, listen, thanks for your call. We reach out to everybody who checks it, see if there's any way we can help. You might see another letter from me because we order our campaigns in batches, so just disregard those. But, hey, if you do me a favor, if you know anyone that we could help, anybody in your family or your sphere of influence that loses somebody that just doesn't really know how to deal with the real estate, we'd love the opportunity to work with those around you. So turn it into a referral opportunity. So there's 44.
Yeah, what CRM do you use, and how does that system work? Because right now I'm just doing it manually.
If you're doing it manually, look in the Facebook group. There's a video in there about how you can use. I took a Google Drive sheet, and made a CRM for one of our clients. You can use that because it's in real time, and you just add columns. So you could just add a column, and it could be as simple as spoke to, yes or no, and you could, every time someone calls, you could put in a yes. And then when you go to do your next round of calls, you just don't include the yeses. You just auto sort and send your call list to everyone that you haven't spoken to.
And you're doing that manually?
No, I use Top Producer. If you don't have you should have a CRM. I mean, it really, there's a bit of a learning curve. So I wouldn't wait around to start marketing until you get your CRM. But long term, Top Producer it's not the most user friendly. It's kind of old technology, but it's the best thing out there right now for managing lead imports and the applying action plans or workflows. And what I like most about it is the transaction management side of it. So that's where our service really starts, when the contract's written, and that's where a lot of systems stop. And that's really where we excel, is we service the sale, I think, better than Top Producer is a really good tool to help you.
You're cutting out.
What's it called? Thought Producer?
Top Producer.
TOP, Top Producer.
Yeah.
It's been around forever. Yeah, it was around back when I was selling real estate. I'm sure it's been vastly improved.
Have you guys ever heard of Podio?
Podio is great, but you better be a CRM developer if you're going to get it to do what you want. It's excellent technology, but no one so far has built a really good system for real estate, for conventional real estate. There's a couple guys that have done a really good job on the investment side. So it's great technology, and it ties in with a lot of other services, but there's some development time there. So if you want an out-of-the-box solution, it's going to be hard to beat Top Producer. A lot of folks are using Wise Agent, which I don't really have any experience with, but I've heard good things about. You might look at that one too.
So, Chad, it's Bruce here. If I could interject really fast. Top Producer also has a market report that you can if you can get an email address for your leads, you can plug their address in, and it'll email them everything in the neighborhood. And we've had great success getting folks plugged in and actually interacting back when they see values that are home sales around their house.
Yeah, and we do that with every seller in our database. So every 2 weeks, or every time a house lists for sale, they get an email. That's a good point.
Could you repeat that, please? Could you repeat that, please?
The market snapshot that Bruce is talking about. So for every seller that we put into our database, we set them up on a market snapshot. So even without you touching it, every time a new listing comes up or a home sells or on a bi-weekly period, it will send them an email like of a market snapshot. Here's how many homes are for sale. Here's the ones that just sold. It's just about repetition and branding.
That's providing you get their email address. What's your script for saying that when they say that they're not interested?
If it's probate specific, I ask them if there's a home in the estate that they would like to sell.
Right.
And if they say no, a family member's going to take it, or we just don't know right now, then I'll take that conversation deeper. If it's going to stay in the family, or that wound, if they're just if they're not ready to have that conversation, I usually won't push. But I find creative ways to ask for email addresses. And you could even be as direct as to say, well, listen, information, it can't hurt to know the market. So if you want, I can send you a list of everything that's sold so you can get an idea of what it's worth. So if you do decide to sell in the future, you'll kind of have your bearings in the marketplace. So would that be okay? Okay, what's the best? And I don't ever have trouble getting emails. Just find a way
Ed,
to provide.
I'm sorry. That sounded really good, but then you broke up. Could you just repeat it again? That's
I'll never remember it.
Great.
The point is to just find a way to provide value before you ask for the email address. So what I said is,
the drink and the
listen,
water.
I understand you're not looking to sell right now. Listen,
1 cent to kill me.
Hey guys, if you're not on mute, please mute yourself out. But
I can understand you're not interested in selling the property right now.
Yeah, but we have a great system that will kind of give you your bearings in the market. So over time, you can kind of see what lists, what sells, what doesn't. So if you do get to a point where you want to sell, you'll know of what your home is worth approximately. So what's the best email to use for that? And I don't ask them if I can do it. I say, what's the best email? And typically they just say, oh, well, it's
Excuse me, I'm getting put on hold. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. I'm trying to find the source of the noise. There's been a lot of background noise, and I'm just trying to screen them out, so I may have accidentally put you on hold. Good now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Boy, this has been more about technology than any call we've ever had. It's usually like, what do I say, or what do I do? But that's okay, guys. Whatever you need help with. We've got about 10 more minutes. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I have a question for Chad.
Hello.
Unrelated to technology.
Am I mute? Hello. I need some help. I have a question regarding your website.
Okay. And then there was a gentleman who's next who started to ask the question. But go ahead. Lady first.
Thank you so much. I contacted, or I sent, where it says click here to have a discussion with Mark regarding about building a website.
Yeah.
I did that. I set up a time, and I waited. I didn't know if I was going to I gave him my number. Nobody called. Then
Mark, you just got called to the carpet, buddy. He's on the phone.
Mark's on the call, so we'll all...
Okay, not only did I call, but I emailed him too. And again, I got no response. So I don't know. You guys want to make some money, I'm here.
Let me just say, it's the first time...
I'm
not doubting you, but it's the first time we've ever heard that, so obviously there was a communication issue between you.
I don't know if I picked a day, I picked a time, I gave my number.
So, what's your
I
name?
would really be interested. My name is Valerie.
Okay.
And you want my number? How do you want to do this?
Mark, how do you want to handle it? Should she email you?
I didn't get any emails or forms or anything from you, Valerie. So obviously something went wrong with the process. But what's your phone number? I'll give you a call this afternoon.
Okay. My phone number is 760-845-1254.
Okay.
And I work with Casey Cook. That's Cooke, out of Coldwell Banker in San Diego area.
All right. So, Valerie, sorry about that. I was giving Mark a hard time. We are actually in the process of rolling over to our new customer support system.
Great.
And I'm guessing something fell through the cracks. So sorry for that.
No, I'm just ready to hear everything you want, everything you have. I'm very curious. So I look forward to your call, Mark.
Yeah, Val, I would have called you immediately had I seen anything, but I will call you immediately after this call.
Okay, great.
All right. Somebody else had a question.
Yes, I had a question for Chad. So I got my first listing out of my first set of leads 2 weeks ago, and I'm putting together.
Way to go.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited about it. My question is
real quick before your question, how many letters did you send out to get the listing?
I sent out 90 letters, but I'm only halfway through getting in touch with them. So
excellent.
I'm about 2/3 of the way through the actual contact with them.
Perfect.
Where are you from?
Austin, Texas.
Excellent. So I'm sorry, I interrupted your question. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. My question pertains to the estate sale. I wanted to know from Chad, when do you typically schedule the estate sale? Because the executor is out of town. So my question is this. I don't want to list the house when it's vacant. Do you just normally schedule the estate sale after you've gotten an accepted offer on the house? When do you schedule it, and are you present for it because the owner is not there?
No, I mean, we want to list vacant houses. A home, typically an inherited home, is always going to show better as kind of a blank canvas. So my goal is to get the personal property empty, like get it out before I do photography. So typically what we do is we'll put a future date on the listing agreement, and we'll say, okay, we're committed to getting this done before June 15th. I'm going to connect you with the estate sale company. We'll get you on their schedule. They'll market for a week, and it'll be a weekend sale. And then what's left over, we'll get donated and get out. Once the house is broom swept, then we'll come in and do photography. I'm a firm believer in showing the home in its best light because of the way we attack the internet. Once we do photos, it's hard to unring that bell, so they go everywhere. They syndicate to a million different places. So I try to time it where nobody sees the home until it's in its best condition and cleaned out.
So are you present for the estate sale, or do you just leave that in the hands of the estate sale?
There's no reason to be. I mean, there's no real benefit for you.
Even if the executor is out of state?
Well, if you have the right estate sale company, they're going to use video cameras, and they'll set up a single point of sale. So they'll put a table in front of the back door, and everyone has to come in and exit from the same door. And they've got a cash register with a camera. So you've got, they handle security, and they make sure that there's an attendant in each room and nobody's stealing anything. So if you've got the right company, they'll have systems in place, and you can use that to comfort the seller, because the last thing you want to do is spend 6 hours of your Saturday standing around looking at someone else's site.
Okay, kind of like going to an all-day garage sale. It doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
This is Steve from New Jersey. I don't know if you guys are all done. I just had two questions.
Please.
This is my first time on the call, so one very basic question. What's your website? And then the second question is, for the probate leads, how far back do you go if you're going to a new market? Do you go back 6 months and start mailing? Do you go back, 3 months?
Man, we have had probably our best success story came from historical. So a girl named Tammy out of Boise, Idaho, decided to go back 3 months because her counts were low. And so she had 3 months of historical and 1 month current for a total of 175. She listed 5 houses off of one letter, made the phone call, I think, and listed 2 more. Last time she was on the call, she had listed 7 houses off that first round of the first 2 rounds of the campaign.
And Chad, so, I have to add to that. When she did that, we said, "Congratulations, Tammy. Have you ever gotten 5 listings in 1 month before?" And she said, "No, I just got my license last month."
Wow.
I strongly recommend. And just based on my experience, like I said, I list houses all the time that are calling from 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago. So if it's in your budget to go back 6 months, I think it's money well spent.
Okay, because I'm a real estate investor too, and I heard about the cash offer. So I mean that I would obviously something like the guy said 117 or 175. As an investor, you'd rather buy it for 117 and then remarket it yourself and flip it for 169. So I'm gonna, once I get your website, I'll look into some of your letters and stuff like that, and it sounds very interesting.
Yeah, when you say our website, are you looking for the company website or my website?
I guess both.
The company website is alltheleads.com. A really, really good resource, if even better than the website right now. We're getting ready probably in the next 48 hours to flip the switch on a new site, so it's going to get way better. But right now, there's a closed Facebook group called All the Leads Mastermind. And if you go in there, I post role plays, trainings that I do with my own agents. I just now updated it for those of you that have the old version of my campaign outline. So basically, my entire business in a box is available on that Facebook page under the Files tab, and throughout the timeline, you'll find posts and recordings and all kinds of role plays and scripts, things like that.
Great, thank you very much.
And as an investor, are you also an agent?
Yeah, I'm a broker as well.
So I'll tell you what I learned the hard way. It spent probably thousands of dollars. Wear your realtor hat first. And then one thing do you have a partner in your investments, or is it just you?
I do have some partners that I invest with from time to time. That's why it's kind of an arm's length transaction, and usually previously I would go to investors and say, I'm coming to you as an investor first and foremost, because then people look like you might be taking advantage of them, so it's a little tricky, I know. But
it's really hard to keep rapport. I have never listed a house when I went in with my investor hat on. But
okay.
I've listed a ton of houses after making an offer as an investor, and then saying, we can leave that in the top desk drawer, or would it be okay if I bring my investor with me on Mr. Seller? He'll only be there for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the appointment so he can look at the house, and then I'll make sure he goes away and you and I can talk privately. So you use third-party negotiation. You bring in the investor, so you look like a buyer. You're acting as both a listing agent, but you're also bringing a cash buyer. And you say, listen, he'll make us an offer in the next 24 hours, I guarantee it. If you don't like that offer, it'll remain on the table. So just know, if you ever do want to take it, you can do that. But we can also go to the more conventional route and see if we can sell your home for more money. Fair enough. And we've done really well with that. If the situation really calls for it, they'll come back and say, listen, let's just take that cash offer, and you can write it in your buddy's name and then disclose. And listen, this is actually a guy that I partner with from time to time on this particular deal. I either am or I'm not going to partner. I just want to, in full disclosure, I want you to know that. But we will make a profit on that. And
Great.
We've never had problems.
That sounds excellent. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to do it. I never thought about that. So yeah, thanks for that. I'm definitely
and for all you realtors out there, it's the perfect objection to, I don't want to tie my house up for 6 months. Well, you're actually not tying it up, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. We're going to do everything we can to get you, market value. But the good news is that investor offer is still on the table. And I've shared with many of you. I bought one that had 8 heirs. And there were so many heirs, they were willing to sell it at a deep discount, and they didn't care. And then one of the other ones I bought, we went ahead and listed it. It had a pretty sizable mortgage payment. And after 3 months, they just said, we don't want to do this anymore. Let's go ahead and take the cash offer. So you want to give people options, and they like if they have gotten a letter from an investor and you're offering them the option of listing it, you're going to beat out that investor 100% of the time. And if you are an investor, you're basically tying the property up to make sure no other investor buys it. So it's really a best of both worlds for your seller and for the agent and the investor. Especially if you happen to be both. Good question. We try to keep this right at 30 minutes. It's been a great call. If anybody has one other pressing question, we've got time for one more.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Can I get heard right now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's the first time I've been on a conference call. I spoke to Jim yesterday.
This is Jim.
And I just want to make sure I'm on the call here.
Yeah, you're on. Was that your question? Yes, you're on the call.
That's all I need to know. I wanted to know what the protocol is when when we call in, when you're allowed to ask questions. And
we keep this very informal. Chad and I are never going to be insulted if you interrupt us. This is your guys' call. This isn't a commercial for our company, so always feel free We'll usually have something we want to cover that'll take 5 or 10 minutes, and then the rest of the call is for you guys. So help yourself.
So I do have one question for you.
Okay.
Because these probate sales is all new to me, and with these kind of leads and what have you, I'm normally just calling expired for sell by owner. The question I had for you, it sounds to me that you guys have this thing set up so you're kind of like a one-man show. You're doing the estate sales. You got investors. Do you have anything that's already set up so when you walk in the door to do some kind of listing presentation to meet with these people that they see that you're a one-man guy and you can throw everything at them and let them know that you can handle everything for them.
Yeah, everything we reference. So if you go to the Facebook page, all the letters we use are set up with those options in the copy.
Okay.
If you use our website, if you listen to the script, follow the campaign outline that I wrote, like everything is gonna be consistent with that. And it's for good reason, because that's what it takes to really differentiate. And some, like I said earlier in the call, some people will grab the hook on cash buyer. Some will be, their biggest pain point will be a house full of property and they're 10 states away. So that's really important on the front end to get the conversation started, is that you differentiate yourself. So if investors are mailing them, they're going to pick up your mail piece and go, all right, so this guy said we buy houses. This guy says he can help me do this, and this, in a very, with a very servant's heart tone to the letter. So jump in Facebook and look through all those files, and I think it'll be clear to you.
Great call, guys. Thank you. We had the best attendance. We had a wide range of subjects. Please, guys, do us a favor. Chad and I always say the new people show up for the call. Then once they get successful, they're too busy to come back for the call. So if you guys could put this in your schedule for 30 minutes a week, we'd like to have every one of our clients show up every week. So come back next week with a success story. And if you need Chad or I in the meantime, you know where to find us, guys. Thanks for showing up today. Have a great week.